Okay. Hi guys. Today I'll be talking about IELTS General Modules Writing Task 1. As we have discussed earlier, the difference between IELTS General and IELTS Academic is in the reading and the writing section. So in the writing section, Task 1 is different than that of IELTS Academic. So task 1 is basically a letter that you would be asked to write in response to a situation given to you. So there are three types of letters that you may be asked to write. The first is a formal letter, which can be a letter that you're writing to a hiring manager in response to a job posting. It can also be a letter to a restaurant manager complaining about something or complimenting on the restaurant quality and service. So, and the next type is informal letters. Now, informal letters are generally casual letters that you write to a friend or a close family member to tell them, let's say, to tell them about your new job or give them news or thanking them or inviting them, things like that. And the third type of letter is a semi-formal letter. Now, this is a little tricky. There is no fixed structure for any of these letters, but you would know what the tone of the letter should be when you read the question. So let's say you're given a letter to write in reply to your friend's offer of joining him to work in his travel company. So in this case, although you're writing to your friend has offered you in joining him at work. So there's work related. So this is a combination of a formal and informal letter. So you need to figure out the tone that you would be writing the letter in yourself, just through basic common sense. The writing task 1 is generally very simple as long as you follow the structure and answer every point that has been asked in the question. So it's always easier when you're writing to follow a paragraphing structure. Now, for a letter, the best structure would be to have an opening in which you'll greet the person. So if it's a formal letter, you say, "Dear sir or madam." In fact, if you know the name of the person, whether it is formal or informal, you can say, "Dear Mr. John," etc. And if it's a completely informal letter, you're very close to the person, just say, hi Justin, hi Tom. Okay. The next paragraph would be the body. You can add as many paragraphs as you want. I would suggest that you have at least 2 paragraphs. And the need for paragraphing would depend on your question. So usually in your question, they will give you 2 to 3 bullet points for information to add in your letter, and you need to paragraph it according to those bullet points. In the end, you add some final comments like "see you soon," "take care," or "I hope to hear from you soon," and you sign off saying "yours faithfully," "yours sincerely," or just "bye" if it's a very close friend. So let's look at an example. This is a question from an IELTS sample, and I need you to figure out what kind of letter it is. So let's read through it. You have decided to leave your current employment. Write a letter to your employer, including the following in your letter. So these are the bullet points. Explain why you're writing. Explain why you have decided to leave the company. Tell your employer what your plan is, what you plan to do after leaving your present employment. So you're writing the letter to your employer. What kind of a letter do you think it is? It's pretty clear. It's a formal letter because you're writing to someone in your office. So it's clearly a formal letter. So as we spoke of the structure earlier, there should be an opening, there should be body paragraphs, and there should be final comments and signing off. So in the opening, you can write "Dear Human Resource," or if you know the person of the Human Resource Manager, you can write "Dear Mr. Smith." The first paragraph explains why you're writing, which was, let me point out, that's the first bullet point in the question. The second paragraph tells you why you've decided to leave the company, which again was from the bullet point. And then you have a paragraph on what you plan to do, which again is from the question. So take your time and read through it. And in the final comments, you can just add a line saying, I would like to thank you for the guidance provided during the period of my employment. And you sign off saying yours sincerely, yours faithfully, as you like. So it's much easier if you have the structure planned ahead of time. So you just fill in the blanks with your words. Let's look at another example. So in this question, you're going away to it says you're going away to travel for the summer. A friend will be looking after your house while you're away. Write a letter to your friend. In your letter, say where you're going, describe your house, explain some of the things your friend must do to look after your house. So what kind of a letter is this? Well, they've asked you to write a letter to your friend, which instantly tells you it's either informal or semi-formal, and the content of the letter is that you are requesting your friend to look after your house. So that must mean that your friend is very close to you, and it's a favor you're asking them. So there is no need for a formal tone here. So it's a simple informal letter. So once again, let's look at the structure for it. It starts with an opening. You know it's a friend, so you say, dear, name of your friend. In this case, I've said, dear Sam. In the first paragraph, you say, thank you in advance for looking after my house and my lovely puppies when I'm on a vacation. You know how excited I am to go to Bali. So you have a sentence here that says where you're going. It is indeed a dream coming true now. So they do expect you to exchange greetings and write additional information. Although they give you these bullet points, but that's not you don't need to just answer those questions. You need to make it look like a proper letter as well. So you can't just have a first paragraph saying, dear Sam, I'm going to Bali, and then describe my house is nice and things to look after my cats and dogs. You can't do that. So you need to structure it nicely, as you would do in a letter if you're writing to your friend. So describe your house. So you casually say, I just want to let you know that my house has just been renovated, and since you haven't been to my place for a couple of months, you have to use the stairs next to the car park instead of using the main entrance door. The ground floor will not be accessible and will be locked for maintenance reasons. So you give him enough details about your house as you would to your friend. Notice the tone. The tone is pretty informal and very friendly. So and then the last bullet point was things to look after. So he says, I need to mention a couple of things which you need to look after during my absence. My dogs will be staying on the top floor, and I will be very grateful if you can feed them thrice a week. For your final comments, you can say, last not least, you can clean up the dog as well. Please feel free to contact me in case of an emergency. You leave your phone number, email, and everything. Now notice that they have not asked you to give information about your contact, but oftentimes they do, oftentimes they don't. But it's always good to have that final touch, just in case, just because you want it to look like a real letter that you've written. Yes, I know I have forgotten your treat, as I owe you this one, mate. So he adds, it's up to you if you want to add something like that. It's a very personal touch. Thank you once again for your help. So you're signing off here, and see you soon. And then you write your name at the bottom. So you would generally be getting either formal or informal letters. Semi-formal letters basically follow the similar structure of an opening, bodies, and final comments and signing off, but the tone or the language that you're writing the letter would be something in between a formal and informal letter.